What's up, YouTube? So I'm not going to take up a lot of y'all time, but I'm on here to talk about how my landlord increased the rent on me without proper notice, as well as he's trying to say that I owe him over $6,000. And the purpose of me doing this video, I have to just explain this first because this is my third video that I'm doing regarding landlord issues. Purpose of this video is for me to just see if there's anybody else going through the same thing that I'm going through, just to share my journey with this whole landlord issues, and maybe I could help someone else that may be going through what I'm going through in some type of way. But I just wanted to put that out there. All right, guys. So I'm just going to pray to God right now that my journey, the story that I share with the YouTube community, I pray that it reach, people who may be going through what I'm going through, and maybe it can help them in some type of way. I pray that the Lord give me proper words to say while I'm explaining everything, and that I try my best to give y'all the truth of what's going on. All right, guys. So, guys, yeah, he's basically, I'm going to talk about the increase with rent first. Okay. And by the way, another thing, I live in Canada, guys. I'm not in the U.S. I am from the U.S. I am American. I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, but I've been living in Canada now for like 13 years, guys. So, because a lot of people on my previous eviction videos I think they think I live in the States, but I don't live in the States. I live in Canada. So when I talk about a lot of the landlord issues, landlord and tenant board, that's, I'm referring to the landlord and tenant board here in Canada. Just want to let y'all know that as well. Anyway, I'm going to start talking about how the landlord increased the rent on me without proper notice. Now, apparently he increased the rent by $60 back in September. I was not aware of that. And the first time I heard about it is when I had my court date for the eviction. If y'all watch my videos, I told you I had a court date for eviction back in November 27th. All right. And so that's the first time I heard about the rent increase. Again, he increased it apparently September of 2024, but I wasn't aware of it. So currently, as we speak, he's expecting for me to pay that rent increase. But the lawyer that I deal with, she tells me that until he gives proper notice, legally, I don't have to pay that rent increase because he didn't send an email. He did not send any type of documents of the rent increase. So, I'm just following what my lawyer advised me on to do. So basically, that's the situation with the rent increase. He increased it by $60 back in September. I was not made aware of that. The first time I heard about it was through court when I had the eviction hearing. And that was back in November. But my lawyer advised me, regardless, even if I heard about it September, I still don't have to pay the extra $60 because to this day, he still haven't given me proper notice. So it is what it is. On top of, I just want to explain that I do get assistance from the government 3 different ways. I receive something called rent supplement, which I'm going to be discussing that program today in this video. But I get rent supplement, and that goes straight to the landlord. I don't see it as direct deposit to him. The second thing, I receive Ontario Works. I guess in the States they call it welfare. I don't know, but I receive Ontario Works here in Canada. And that money as well, I use it to pay my rent. Because what he was receiving in the past, it wasn't enough to cover my rent because my rent is $2,400. So the rent supplement program that deposit the money into his account, all right, guys, just have to check something. So anyway, guys, the rent supplement program, it gets direct deposit to him. And so I don't see that money. Ontario Works, they deposit the money into my account. Now, I use that money to pay the rent, and I also use my child tax because the Ontario Works is still not enough to pay the rent. So I pull from child tax. Here in Canada, we receive something called child tax for children's when they first born to age 18. And so that's that. So yeah, he increased the rent on me without proper notice. And I just wanted to share that with y'all. Not sure if there's somebody out there that's gone through something like that, where the landlord increased the rent without a proper notice. I don't know how it works in the States, but y'all leave in the comments below and let me know how it works in the States. But according to my lawyer, a landlord cannot increase the rent on you without a proper notice. The second thing, which is the more bigger situation, he's claiming that I owe him $6,607. Guys, I had to take a sip of water because I know my throat gonna get dry. It's currently snowing. Well, it's not actively snowing, but like the weather out here is like snowy weather. Again, I'm in Canada. So I'm gonna be taking water sips regularly because it's like dry anyway. He's currently saying that I owe him $6,670. Sorry, $6,607 is what he's claiming that I owe him. Now, I received this information last year. Like, I knew I had this court date like last year. And so the court date is coming up. And guys, yeah, I hope I'm not in this big truck way, guys. I went and parked behind a warehouse building. Hopefully I'm not in this guy's way. A big truck is coming. I don't think I'm in his way. Anyway, so he's claiming that I owe him $6,607. This document that I have in my hand, guys, is it's just some notes I wrote down. And it's from the landlord and tenant board because I have a court date coming up. And in this document, guys, they write down everything that he's claiming. So he's claiming that I owe him September's rent, right? Let me just read it off to you guys. The landlord is claiming that I owe him September's rent in the amount of $1,500, right? Remember, my rent is $2,400. He put on this document the rent is $2,460 because remember, he increased the rent without me knowing, but he's still putting that number in there. My lawyer told me to ignore it. But the rent that he's charging for September was $2,460. He said what I paid is $959. And so he's saying what I owe him is $1,500. Now, when I look through my records, my bank statements, because again, remember, I tell y'all, he gets direct pay of a certain amount, and I'm supposed to give him the rest. When I look through my statements, I paid the rent for that month. For September, I paid the rent. So I don't owe him anything. But yet in this document, guys, he's saying that I owe him, but I paid him. Anyway, so I basically have to print out that proof and send it, through the portal, like the landlord and tenant board portal. Any evidence, you got to send it through the portal. 7 days before the court hearing. So I have that proof. He's also saying that I owe him for October, $2,460. He's saying I owe him the whole thing. Of course, he's saying I owe him for November, $2,460. He's basically saying for October and November, I owe him the full rent. Guys, in total is $6,607, and that's not true. Because number one, again, like I told y'all, September, I looked through my records, I paid the rent. I don't know why he don't see it, but I paid the rent, and I have my proof to submit for September. Right? For October and November, how that works is couple situations going on. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm having like maintenance issues at my home. They're being rectified, which is great, but I've had maintenance issues at my house the past 3 years, I would say. And it's stuff regarding like the major thing, my landlord refused to fix the downstairs washroom that had a shower leak about 3 years ago. Like the head of the shower was leaking about 3 years ago. I reported this to him. He came into the home. He dismounted the entire shower. Guys, when I tell y'all, all I said to this guy is that the shower head was leaking. And I told him I tried to rectify the situation first by going to Home Depot and buying some, like, it's like tape sealing or some type of sealing. And I was hoping that would work, and it didn't. It kept leaking. So I had to contact him, because again, y'all know you have to report things like that, because if the situation get worse, then the landlord's gonna hold you liable. So I pretty much reported it. And when he came, you know, again, he was raging. I mentioned this in one of my videos that my landlord, he rages, you know. And he was raging. He was basically like, you know, this is unacceptable. He started pulling the whole thing apart, everything. He stripped it. And I'm going to show y'all a video of what the shower looked like. And it's been that way for literally almost 3 years. So me and my family haven't been able to use the shower yet. It's being paid for through the rent. Like we pay $2,400 for a reason, to be able to occupy all the washrooms in the house. But because he dismounted the shower, he said he refused to fix it. And I came to him multiple times and asked him, can you fix the washroom downstairs? Because me and my family of 8 is using one tub upstairs, and he refused to fix it. So I had to get people involved to kind of force him to fix it. And that's why I told y'all currently it's being rectified. That's a whole nother story. So like I say, it was 3 situations: maintenance issues, okay, and then yeah. So that $6,000 and something that he's claiming that I owe him, guys, like, I do not owe him really anything. I don't owe him nothing at all. I don't owe him this $6,670. The reason why I don't owe him, okay, is for these reasons. Again, the September rent, I paid it. I don't know why he don't see it, but I have my records to show proof that I paid it. For October, November, he's saying that I owe the full rent. That's not true. Because guess what? Remember what I said. Rent supplement was paying him about $953 for last year, like 2023. They were paying him $953 towards the rent. It was up to me to pay the rest. Once I got my money, what you Americans call, and I'm American too, I have to be careful what I say, because y'all take everything so sensitive. But I'm born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm American too. I'm not even a citizen of Canada. I'm a permanent resident. So I am just trying to say, Americans may say it's welfare, but welfare sends me a certain amount of money. It's still not enough to cover the rent, and I have to pull from child tax. I put those 2 together and I pay the rent. He's saying that I owe rent fully for October, and that's not true, because he received money. He at least received $953 from rent supplement. So that's not true. And I went to the rent supplement program last year and got a printout of like how they pay him, or like, you know, a payout thing. So last year I remember reviewing them documents, and they did pay him. So I don't know what he's talking about. The balance though, I didn't pay him, and it's a reason for that. Remember I told y'all about the maintenance issue as far as the washroom, and there was other things going on in the house he refused to fix. And so I had to get like what they call bylaw involved, and my lawyer advised me to do this. I didn't even know to do this at first. Thank God for my lawyer. But she advised me, since he don't want to fix things, you need to get bylaw involved. And bylaw going to come out and inspect the house and see if it's wear and tear or actually damaged. Bylaw came out, nothing was damaged. It was wear and tear, because I've been in this home 5 years, almost 6 years, with the family of 8. Originally, it was like a family of 10, right? But now we're a family 8 because my ex moved out and my oldest son moved out. So now we're a family of 8. And so, yeah, my lawyer told me, because there's she told me this last year before he came in to fix things, right? She told me by law, if the landlord is not fixing things, you got a right to withhold a certain percentage of rent because he's not fixing things. And so she advised me on that, and that's what I withheld a certain amount for the rent, right? So for October and November, yeah, I withheld rent, not the whole thing, but a certain amount because he wasn't paying. I'm sorry, he wasn't fixing nothing. Secondly, I mentioned this in one of my other videos that the landlord owes me money. And a lot of people in the comments were like, how does the landlord owe you money? People just don't understand this part at all. How does the landlord owe you money when you are on assistance, you're on welfare? So how does the landlord owe you money? He owes me money, guys, regardless of what you guys think. And God is going to rectify this situation. Because again, he gets direct pay, and I also receive welfare. They send the cash money to my account. And I also receive child tax. That's also cash money to my account. And the government of Canada, even though y'all can say what y'all want to say is welfare money. Okay, the welfare money that's coming to my account cash, I am supposed to pay rent and in basic need. Shelter and shelter and rent is the same thing, but basic need as well. I'm supposed to use that money to survive, and the cash comes to my account. Now, if y'all want to look at it like, oh, it's government money, then look at it how you want to look at it. All I know is the money comes to my account, and I'm supposed to use it for basic needs, shelter, food, whatever, and that's what I do. So the child tax money that comes to my account for my children, I'm supposed to spend that money on them, basic need and you know, just bills if I need to. It's okay that I do that. It's not against the law to use your child tax money or welfare money to pay bills, to pay things to survive in this life. Because a lot of people are like, it's not your money, whatever. It comes to my account cash, so it's mine. So basically, guys, he owes me about $1,500 because I went through a situation where I was overpaying him. Rent supplement at one point was giving him a certain amount, and then they increased it. I wasn't aware of it. So for 7 months, I was overpaying him, and I overpaid him about $1,500. So what I'm trying to tell y'all guys, once these numbers really get calculated properly, which I've done some calculating myself, and I have a meeting to talk with my lawyer soon, and we're going to sit down and just calculate things. Really, at the end of the day, I'm not going to owe this man anything because number one, the $1,500 that he owes me, and number two, remember, I was without a proper washroom for like 2 years. And so apparently, according to my lawyer, I could claim abatement. Here in Canada, it's called abatement. I could claim that to try to get back from what, you know, I could try to claim an abatement, or they could put it towards what he's saying I owe him. So at the end of the day, it's all going to work out. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. And it's a lot of other things, you know, details to the story as well. But I just want to say, you know, one thing about me, I've lived in this home for 5 years. And it's a single family home. In the States, like you guys say, it's just a house. It's a house. Like this house I live in is 3 levels. It's a single family home. It's not housing or anything like that. It is a single family home. In Canada, for example, like if you're in a situation where you need a place to stay, you're considered homeless, you're in a shelter, whatever. When you're in a shelter, they offer you housing. They tell you could wait on housing, or you could search and find your own place. Or number 3, you could find like a low income housing where they go by your income. Well, I wasn't working, so I couldn't find a place that goes by my income. My only 2 choices was to sit and wait on housing. Guys, it's so dry. My goodness. The air is so dry. I know my lips are dry, but y'all don't worry about that. I could have sat and waited on housing, excuse me, or I could have found a place on my own, and that's what I did. I didn't want to sit in no shelter with the amount of kids that I had, so I went out and I searched. At the time, Kijiji was a big thing, like 5 years ago. That's how I found the house I live in. I used Kijiji, and the Lord blessed me with this home. And so, you know, like I say, as long as I've been living in this house, I tried to keep a a good relationship with my landlord, even though he's up and down. Like, I don't know, like, he's nice sometimes, and sometimes, like, I don't know how to deal with him. He don't even come to my house on a regular unless there's really an issue, right? So I don't have to deal with him like that all the time. But when I do have to deal with him, I don't know how his attitude gonna be. But me as a tenant, I have always tried to keep a great relationship with him. I don't like fussing and fighting and arguing. I don't like confrontation because I know I need a proper place to raise my kids. So I always try to keep a good relationship. But y'all know how some people, you could try your best to be that better person and people still, you know, show attitude. That's kind of like what I dealt with. But, you know, I got this court date coming up. And I'm pretty confident with it, just like I was confident with that eviction. And people were like really coming at me with that whole eviction video. But I'm pretty confident with this too, because I'm going to, you know, do what I always do. And that's carry God with me. Pray about everything. I'm not going to worry about nothing. Because number one, I know I'm a good person. The Lord knows I got a good heart. I got my receipts. I got my documents. And it is what it is. That's even like some people in the comments with my eviction video. They were like, oh, I bet the inside of that house is tore up from the floor up. And that's okay. People can believe what they want to believe. I show clips and little bitty, you know, clips of what I want y'all to see, because I know people are very judgmental. Even if I showed you guys a really proper house, clean, you know, organized, everything proper, people still have something to say. So I'm not too much worried about none of that. But I do my best as a single mother to try and keep the house that I'm renting proper. And the maintenance issues that are going on with my house, by law, basically I had to force my landlord to come in to take care of them things. As we speak today, the reason why I'm in my car talking to y'all is because the washroom is finally getting fixed, guys. I'm going to show y'all before and after pictures. I'm going to show y'all how the washroom looked for 2 years. And I'm going to show y'all the results of him coming in with a contractor to fix the washroom today. I've been without a washroom for the past 3 years. And when I say without a washroom, me and my kids been using one tub all together. When there's a walk-in shower that's in the basement that we were supposed to be able to occupy, but we couldn't occupy for 2 years. But yet I was paying for it. So, you know, and all I'm saying is this video is just to share my journey. You know, some people are like, oh, you getting on here spreading your business. No problem. If you want to say it like that, no problem. But I am sharing my journey, and I'm okay with that. You know, I'm not going to withhold nothing from my life, because guess what? At the end of the day, this life is not forever, right? All I know is I'm trying my best. I'm doing what I need to do as a mother. And if I share what I need to share with y'all, that's my business. I can't take this information. I can't take the stuff that I go through to heaven. Once I'm gone, all this stuff is going to be left behind. People talking about me and commenting all negative things, all that's going to be, you know, it's going to be left here on earth. I'm going to be upstairs with the good Lord, chilling, not having to deal with none of this. And I'm just speaking on terms of, like, you know, I know the Lord going to give me a long life. But I'm just saying, people who worry about, oh, you spreading your business, this business and whatever I'm going through is going to be gone. It's going to be left here on earth. I'm sharing my journey to you guys for whoever's going through the same thing I'm going through. Comment below if you're going through a situation like this. Let me know in the comments what you're going through. You know, if this video resonated with y'all, comment below. You know, and all the negative comments, well, I can't say nothing about that because it is what it is. Anyway, see y'all in the next video, guys.